everybody, Michael Oliveras here from JurisQ.com, and we are welcoming back Sinayskaya Yuniver, an attorney that does commercial real estate, among other things. But today we're going to focus on commercial real estate. Stephen, welcome back.
Thank you for having me back. Thank you, Michael. Hi.
Thank you. And we're going to continue to educate the public, people who are launching new businesses or they're moving their existing businesses and they're about to enter into a lease. It's important to understand what exactly are you signing and what could go wrong if you have problems making your rent payments, which is possible. Anything's possible. You have to always think about the worst case scenario. We know that in a lease, the landlord wants his or her payments and they want certain guarantees usually. So let's discuss what are those guarantees. What is a personal guarantee? What is a lease without guarantees, if that even exists? And also a very common clause in leases called good guy clause, good guy guarantee, what that is. Let's start with personal guarantees. What do you say, Stephen?
Sure. So a personal guarantee is exactly what it sounds like. You, as an individual, will guarantee the company or whoever is taking on the lease to pay the lease. You have them in residential, you have them in commercial. Those are the strictest. Those are full guarantees where you, let's say, the company has a 10-year lease. You personally guarantee that full 10 years. So if the company defaults in year 3, the person will then have to pay 7 years of a lease. The remaining 7 years. So,
and I just want to follow-up question. If you sign as an LLC, as a company, you think you're protected, but if you also sign a personal guarantee, they can still go after you personally, correct?
They can still go after you personally. And I get that question a lot, and people get surprised. They're like, wait, what do you mean? I have an LLC.
Exactly.
Well, you also signed as an individual. It's almost equivalent as you being on the lease.
Correct. I think that was an important point to make. Okay, and do you ever see leases that are not personally guaranteed? Does that ever happen?
So personal, I sometimes that you could use that as an individual, but you could also have a corporate guarantee. Let's say there's the Citibank location, but Citibank corporate will guarantee them. Or there's sometimes no guarantees. It depends on, let's say Starbucks doesn't have a personal guarantee.
Oh, I see.
But they have enough assets to cover enough years of the lease that they rent. So that's usually one of their negotiation tactics.
I see. So you bet if you are a smaller or medium business, they're going to want somebody to sign that personal guarantee, somebody who has the net worth to cover the rent.
Usually a landlord looks at the financial stability of somebody, just like as if it's a residential lease, but you're going to be supporting the business, making sure that if the business fails, the landlord could go after somebody else.
Okay, but if you are, let's say, you're a partner in an LLC, which signed the lease, your main partner signed the personal guarantee, you are a minority member in an LLC, do you have to worry about your personal assets or liability if this lease defaults?
I guess that's more of a specific partnership question, but yes, definitely, you shouldn't be worried unless you have an agreement with your partner, and then on the side that will say that you're going to support that other partner, a guarantee for that partner. But the landlord would not have, most likely, in most cases, the landlord would not be able to go after you.
And Stephen, thank you for that. You know that I believe it's very important to discuss at our future sessions how you should acquire property, buy or lease as an LLC, company, partnership. Should you buy it under your company name, your personal name, vis-a-vis different partners? What are the responsibilities and liabilities? I think we should have a whole session just on that, because I think people sometimes get confused when LLC is good for tax purposes, when it's good for asset protection purposes. That's a whole different discussion. But I want to come back right now to leases. We frequently hear about good guy clauses. Not everybody understands what it means because it's pretty confusing. Can you please put it down for us in good guy clauses 101? What is that?
So good guy clauses is just basically a creature that lawyers created. What does it actually mean? It's what we negotiate. The two most common good guy clauses are A1, there's are able to surrender the lease after a certain amount of time, and the guarantor is no longer liable. I'll
Okay.
return to that in a second. And then there's another guarantee, good guy guarantee, is that you are guaranteeing the lease while the tenant is in possession.
Mhm.
Once the tenant gives the keys back to the landlord, the guarantor is released.
I see.
So there's two, the time limit and then the possession. Those are the two most common good guy guarantees.
Mhm.
The reason why I say good guy you have to be very protective of that, is that the good guy only protects the guarantor unless
Okay.
you negotiate in the lease that the company is going to be released as well. Now, with the whole COVID landscape, we've been seeing a lot of this where clients have come up to me and they said, we signed a good guy guarantee. I could leave, but why is the landlord now suing my company?
Mhm.
The company will always guarantee the full term of the
I see.
lease
Okay, interesting.
period.
Mhm.
So let's say you rented a space and you as an owner filed a guarantee, you surrendered it pursuant to the guarantee. Great. Keys are back, the company's no longer there, you move your company 2 blocks down, the landlord will sue you for the remainder of the lease. The
Wow.
company, not the person.
You know what? And this is why we're gonna come back to that other session we're gonna do about how to rent property. Maybe it makes sense to rent the property under one LLC, but do business under another company. Maybe, no?
We structure quite a bit of those, but yes, that is
Okay.
definitely a longer session.
Okay, very good. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Okay, excellent. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for explaining what personal guarantees and good guy guarantees are. It is very important when you sign a lease, first, must get an attorney. Second, I believe, must get an attorney who does this day in, day out, that is familiar not only with real estate, but also with litigation of commercial real estate issues, because issues come up. You want to go to somebody like Steven Yuniver, who not only drafts, reviews commercial leases, but also goes to court if anything goes wrong, because then Steven can envision what could go wrong and try to prevent it when you sign a lease. Steven, thank you so much. We have your phone number on the bottom of the screen. If anybody has any questions, please don't hesitate to call. Have a good
Thanks
day.
for having me again, Michael.
Thank you.
See you soon.